Your face is the road to 40. That's right, I said it. Your face. Your face is the road to 40. Me and my friend Bob used to do that all the time. I think we started it because we were the coolest kids on earth. We used to be like, you going to the mall? You're the mall. Your face is the mall. It would just go back and forth. This is so stupid. It got out of control at one point. Where, like, you couldn't get into a conversation because your face was something all the time. It's pretty funny, though. I want to talk about living next to railroad tracks. Have you ever lived next to railroad tracks? How about you? Well, I've been thinking about it. Not a lot, but I drove by railroad tracks today, and I keep passing by railroad tracks, and like across from the Target that I often shop at near Best Buy and stuff, there's railroad tracks over there, and there's always a train stop there. So normally there's a shortcut to cut through Sonic off of the main highway here, and you can cut through Liberty University to get to this Candler Station where there's a Toys R Us, and I'm still a big nerd, and I still collect like the Walking Dead figures and stuff. So, so these railroad tracks. The eagle has landed. Yes, it has. Did you ever? Now, this was like another summer memory for me growing up. Probably around like maybe 4th, 5th, 6th grade. I'd say that's probably the cutoff at that point. I used to hang out. Well, I still hung out actually with one of them for a while longer than that. Larry Rivard, who lives in Taunton, and Scott Gonzalez. And not all the time. Sometimes it was other friends that I went with. Sometimes I think it was just me and my grandmother. We used to walk the railroad tracks, like, until we were exhausted. And then we realized we had to walk back. But this was in the summer, usually around the end of summer, right before school came back, it was just one of those things. This was before Stand By Me, too. Like, otherwise I probably would have got the idea from that. But it is so much fun with a group of your friends, because it takes you through all different neighborhoods, and you see these different types of fences and ways to block the sound and things, and you find, especially in Taunton, I mean, that's an old city, so you'd find old railroad spikes all the time, and you know, I don't know how many pennies, nickels, dimes, probably not quarters, I wasn't that rich, I've put on the railroad tracks and just let the train go by, and you're like, and you go get your little penny that's all squished out. I knew somebody in junior high that tried to jump on a train and got their foot stuck under the train, or a toe. I think they lost a toe. I won't say their name because I'm not friends with them, but I remember going to school with them. And I remember someone made a rap about it in our school, and I was just like, oh man, come on. That's not very nice. But the things you find on or around the railroad tracks are pretty interesting, because they've obviously laid there for quite some time, or at least the idea of that location. Like, maybe these tracks specifically are, you know, newer tracks. But I'm assuming, and I could be wrong about this, if you know any better, let me know in the comments, that we laid railroad tracks, you know, 1700s, 1800s, whenever that took place. I don't know. I'd have to look it up. And I feel bad every time I go to the interwebs to look something up. Well, that reminds me of something else I want to talk about tonight. But railroad tracks and walking down the tracks has got to be just one of those rites of passage as a child. I found, like, weird shit walking down the tracks sometimes. And if you'd ever see somebody else on the tracks coming your way, especially when you're like 10 or 11, you're like, oh my god, they're going to murder me and I'm never going to be found. But, like, I remember finding shells, and I think it was from, like, clam bakes or something like that, because there's a lot of Portuguese people in Taunton. There's a lot of Portuguese food going around and stuff like that. That is one of the biggest disappointments of living in Virginia, not having access to, like, linguiça, chorizo, or sweetbread, or, well, a lot of things, but I digress. I remember, well, me and Larry and Scott had done this a few times, or just whoever it was I was with. We used to, we'd be thrilled when we'd find an abandoned building or an old factory that had burnt down, but there was still like the shell of it there, or abandoned houses too, or houses that were for sale, but like old houses that no one had lived in a long time. And we'd go into these houses. I know that's usually referred to breaking and entering, but I'm pretty sure I'm past the statute of limitations on that. Maybe I'm not. Maybe I just screwed myself. Maybe I screwed the pooch. Corey always used to say that. He always used to say, that went over like a fart in church. That one kills me every time. I love that one. Because you think about it. You do. Or at least the first time. So there was this one factory that we found once, I remember, and it had gotten late. Like, we'd started early in the day, and we probably walked, I mean, I don't know, as kids, maybe 4 or 5 miles. It was out there, you know. We probably took our time. We may have stopped at like a little store, like a Portuguese store along the way to get some Swedish fish or an icy or something, you know what I mean? But you'd spend all day just on these tracks, seeing how far somebody could walk on the tracks. Or one of the weird things that I heard to make the gates go down, ding 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 ding, is if you can find a space of tracks where they separate equally on either side. It's not common because I think tracks are just laid however they fit, or if you got an extra amount on this roll of, I don't know how they lay tracks. I guess they're pieces, but they take turns and stuff. So the whole balance goes away after a while. So when you find balance, sometimes there's an interlinking wire on either side. It's like a metal, almost like a grounding wire they use on telephone poles. I'm told that if you touch, or if you stick a metal pole through them, it'll make the tracks go off. I don't know. I guess that makes sense. I mean, the train moving forward somehow makes the tracks go off. It's always an exciting thing too. That moment you decide to get off the tracks, like when you're a kid, like you see a train coming, or you hear it, and like you'd always get the, you know, just the smart kids that would get right off the tracks. But then there'd always be that one kid who'd be like, "How long do you think I can stay on here?" Be like, dude, there's no good end to that. Just get off now. Stop it. It's not a joke. It's not a joke playing around trains. Kids. I loved it though. Those summers were so much fun. Like before you had like real responsibility. Even younger than that. Like I don't remember very much of it, but I remember being in Mendon, and I had seen an episode of the Flintstones one night where they said, we'll meet up at midnight and, I don't know, go bowling or gambling or something that their wives didn't want them to do. And I convinced one of my neighbors, Chris, the Korean cowboy, I'd love to like see whatever happened to him, because we were friends then. I mean, I don't remember anything about that time in my life, but, well, I do remember bits and pieces. His house smelled funny. He was half Korean, and he wanted to be a cowboy when he grew up. We used to push his sister down the stairs in a basket. But I remember like being like, dude, meet me here at midnight. And whatever it said on the Flintstones, I said like to him. Like, we were going to steal our neighbor's vegetables. That was the plan. Isn't that funny? Like, the railroad tracks, that. Like, it's funny like how very specific things are very crystal clear, and other things are just like, I don't remember that. I love seeing pictures of like Halloween costumes, and I'm like, those awful plastic with the elastic band, and then just the "Hi, I'm Darth Vader" on the front, like Darth Vader. It's funny. I wish they made those in adult sizes now. I'd wear them all day, every day, just because people would think I was crazy. I'd just go around town with those. Go to Walmart. I'd be that guy, just walking around Walmart in my ghetto Halloween costume. You could buy those things anywhere. I remember like CVS. They came in a box. You open. There was a cellophane top, so you could see the mask, and you open it up. And what? I mean, I'm sure that guy's loaded, or he's dead by now, probably. But I mean, they're terrible, terrible Halloween costumes. But when you're poor and have no money, and like you see the Darth Vader one, you're like, snap! I need that. Like. I don't think when I was growing up, though, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. Like, maybe I just don't remember. I don't remember. I remember, like, being, like, 14 and going like trick-or-treating or something like that. Like, not really trick-or-treating, but going out with like my cousins and stuff. But I remember having a lot of those costumes. I have pictures of myself in a Mighty Mouse one, Darth Vader one. I can't remember which other ones I had. Probably an E.T. one. I was way into E.T. I remember I discovered something about Santa Claus. I don't want to say this yet, just in case there's little kids around listening on your end. Spoiler alert for life. When I discovered there was no Santa Claus, I had secretly written a note to Santa because I don't know why, but I felt weird giving it to my mother. Maybe I was getting too old or something like that, but I remember I wanted a real E.T. and I didn't get one. I didn't get anything remotely close to anything living or extraterrestrial. I was pissed, and that's when I found out there was no Santa. I remember I cried when I found out there was no Tooth Fairy. I was a very sensitive kid. I'm a sensitive man. I'm a very sensitive man. I hate it sometimes. It's tough to, like, even talk sometimes serious without, like, wanting to cry. I don't know. Not like serious, but like personal serious. Not like, let's talk about the Constitution. I don't want to talk about that. Yeah, I don't think you ever break that habit of when you're crying. It builds up sometimes. What do you think about the old softball earlier, playing softball? I feel weird about putting myself playing music out here because I'm not that good, like, on my own. In a band, I feel pretty confident and comfortable, and, like, my songwriting ability, I'm happy with it. It could be better, but I'm happy with the songs that I write. And that's actually the next thing I have on here. I just want to tell you a little bit about, this is more for my kids probably, but if you're interested, feel free to watch. It's how I write songs and stuff like that. So I'm going to break this one down at 12 minutes and 24 seconds. Well, I'm sure it'll be a little bit, probably a good 3 minutes before I'm done rambling. Beaches. But yeah. I think that's what I want to talk about. I took some time today and I really refocused. I felt like the last few, like, occasionally I just hit one that's like, I'm like almost leery to post it because I don't want to be the first one that someone would see. I think about it that way, and like, I mean, like I said, there's so many reasons why I do this, but I want people to be happy and to smile and stuff, and sometimes, you know, I go down roads that aren't so happy and smiley. So I've been trying to stay away from those, but like, I feel the most emotionally moved sometimes talking about like politics or religion, and I think I'm going to tackle that again soon, more on a personal level, because I want to be able to say I know what I believe in, no matter what it is, whether it's believing in something or believing in nothing. And I'm tired of, like, I don't know, being on the fence, I guess. So I've got some soul searching to do when it comes to that, I guess. I don't know. It's a funny thing, the whole idea of, I don't know, religion or politics, or my left nipple. I have very small nipples. You'll never see them because I'm disgusting, but just trust me. They're teeny. See? That's what I'm talking about. Alright. Go make somebody smile, damn it. Now! Is there somebody around you? Make them smile. Make them smile. I'll wait. What'd you do? What did you do to make them smile? Because I'd like to know. Just be stupid. Anyway, do so, for I say so. And come back for the next one if you want. Let's make this world spin a little happier together, alright? I will see you in the next one, or I bid you a fine farewell till the next time our roads cross. Till then,